I'm just going to go through a procedure for troubleshooting mail merging data from an Excel spreadsheet into a Word document for eventual sending as an email through Microsoft Outlook. The main thing here is that I'm going to use the concept of a breakpoint in order to check so that we can pause the whole process and look to ensure that everything is as it should be. We have three applications involved in this task. We have Outlook, which is the mail client and eventually sends the mail. We have Word, which generates the document. And we have Excel, from which the data is extracted in order to populate that document. And we want to know basically if this process gives any trouble, which application is at fault. And the only way really to do that is using the concept of a breakpoint. It comes from the world of programming. Right, so the first thing, the breakpoint I'm going to put into this really is I'm going to troubleshoot the possibility, if we're not able to merge to mail, that it's an email problem versus it's an application problem on our machine. To that end, I want to set up Outlook in a fashion that it's not going to send email yet and prepare it for this process that we're going to go through. So I've Outlook already open here. Okay, so I maximize Outlook. Now the main thing with talking about a breakpoint is, what I've done here is I've set Microsoft Outlook to work offline. And you can see here down the bottom of the screen, it says working offline. So if all hell breaks loose, God forbid, these mails that arrive in this Microsoft Outlook are going nowhere. All that'll happen is they'll sit in the outbox for me to see the fruits of my labor before sending it out. So the first thing is set Outlook to work offline. And the second thing is make sure that the outbox is empty. Normally the outbox will be empty anyway. The only time you'd see anything in the outbox is if you're not actually connected to the internet, you're writing emails, you're sending them, and that it's keeping them in the outbox until you actually re-establish a connection with the internet and everything will be sent. So in general, you'd expect to see the outbox empty. So that's it. I'm going to minimize. So in Outlook is offline, the outbox is empty. I'm going to minimize Outlook again. And I've my little document here of what I have done. So the first thing is in Outlook, I've set Microsoft Outlook to work offline and I'm ensuring the outbox is empty. Now the second thing I want to do is I want to prepare my data in Excel for the mail merge. Now I've created an Excel spreadsheet, as you can see here earlier, more or less a little client database, let's say. So if I open that, so here I have very standard, it's a database with the details of 12 people, their title, forename, surname, their address, their star sign, and their email address. Now the main thing that's important here is that this row, the first row, is the actual titles of those fields, right? Each column here is what's referred to as a field in a mail merge, whereas a cross is a record. So these are all the various fields, these are all the various records. For all intents and purposes, it is what you would recommend, what you would consider a flat database. But the main thing here is further on down the line, when we're doing the actual mail merge and putting fields into our document, the actual names for the fields will be extracted from what I've used as the column header here on the first row. If you're troubleshooting, do not use multiple sheets per document. Have one spreadsheet. for just until you get used to the process, because later on you're going to be selecting which spreadsheet you're drawing the information from, etc. Can get very confusing if you have multiple sheets, because not only it gives you options of, do you want a sheet with headers or a sheet without headers, etc. Gets very confusing. In the start, have one sheet, makes it very clear. Second thing is, do not be editing the data in the Excel spreadsheet. This should be set up. All the records should be in it. The only editing we should have on this afterwards is deciding to omit people as recipients, deciding to omit particular records. Again, these are the records. Each one, record 2, record 3, record 4, that's a record. These are fields. So a record is made up of a collection of fields. So the only option we really have later is deciding which ones we're going to omit and which ones we're going to center. So the first thing I do is I open Word and I'm going to start a mail merge. So I go for, let's say, a blank document. Now the next thing I do is I go into the Mailings tab, start mail merge, and look, just take the little arrow for the drop down and we're going to go for email messages. Select recipients, use an existing list, and I go to the desktop where I've stored it. This is specifically on my machine. Now, bear in mind, it'll be completely different than yours. I've created a folder called Mail Merge. Go in there. There's my actual Excel spreadsheet. And watch the bit now that could get complicated if you use an Excel spreadsheet with loads of sheets. If I go here, you get this. It's grand when you've only one sheet. But imagine if you had loads of sheets, you're trying to just get once you're comfortable with it. Always, I would say to anyone, look, if we're having trouble with mail merges, the first most likely cause, the problem is multiple sheets in your spreadsheet. Here's, look, the other thing is, first row of data contains column headers. This is what I was saying to you earlier. So basically what this is going to do now is you're telling Word to extract the field names from the first row of the columns, right? So if I hit OK there, right? So now I'm going to type a letter here. I'll show you how to put in one, and then I'm going to jump on a bit where the document is created rather than a big long video. And just to show. So if I wanted to go for the personal attention of, and go here. So I want to put in a field, right? So I go insert merge field, and what should happen here? That list of merge fields is generated from your first row in that spreadsheet. Title, forename, surname, address, 1, 2, star sign, email. So I say for the attention of Mr. space, insert merge field, forename, space, insert merge field, surname. Now I'm going to pause the video for a second, and when you come back, I'll have this letter more or less finished. There we are. Our document has been generated. Basically, the main thing is that you have unchanging text, which is, as I think they refer to it as boilerplate text. And you have changing text, which is form fields, and they are extracted from the Excel spreadsheet that we created earlier. So now I'm going to resize that a second. Just make it a bit more manageable. There we are, we can see that. And I want to come back here to my notes, which I'm just putting up here, and it is prepare data in Excel for mail merge. We've done that. Start the mail merge. I've actually already started the mail merge. Once we've created the document, the next thing I want to do is I want to actually test this to see actually whether it's working. Now, it might be a bad idea to hit save. So if I hit save, it wants to ask me where I want to save it. So I browse, I go to my desktop, I go into the mail merge, and I say, star sign, email. and hit save, just so we have it held there. Now, the main thing here, 72, is now we've done this. We've inserted the mail merge fields and everything like that. There's two places here now you can see whether Word and Excel are talking. And that's why I said earlier when we was generating a breakpoint, it's very easy to tell whether Word and Excel are doing their job, right? One is when I go in here into this edit recipient list, I can straight away see, wow, okay, Word and Excel are talking. That's all my data, right? So you can see straight away, right, if I have a problem with send it, it's certainly not in Word talking to Excel. That's the first. Now, there's loads of advanced options here, like querying your table and things like that. For the moment, let's not do anything with that, right? We just want to literally get to the point of doing and testing a mail merge. If you specifically want to exclude or include somebody in the mail merge, you can actually do it. In fact, look, you can deselect them all and only pick one as a test. But generally, we have Outlook on offline mode, so we shouldn't be too scared unless there's a very big mail merge, a very big send. We shouldn't be too scared of, as they say, let it rip, let it run through. Okay, so we've all the options there now. Second thing I said that two ways of test it. One is the edit recipient list. The other one's preview results. And look, with preview results, I know I'm talking to my Excel spreadsheet because that's the first record, second record, third record. So I can actually go through it and make sure, okay, nothing is broken there. That's all working. You can see what it's actually putting in the information. And sure enough, we've 12 records and they're in there. So what I do, the last step is I go finish and merge, the little arrow here, and I want to send email messages. So when I do this, the only thing it's going to ask me for here really is the format of the email and the actual subject line. So I'm just going to say your star sign, question mark, and I'm going to set it as HTML. It makes no difference because it's only for testing, and we say okay. And we can see it going through the process, and that's it. Now, the mail merge is done. If mail merge is working okay, it should now have handed over. It should have said to Outlook, right, I've my part done. It's now time for Outlook to take over. And sure enough, if I go in here, I can see that in my outbox, I've got 12 emails. And there are all my emails that are written. Look, you can go in, you can have a look. But anyway, they're all the mails there. If you're at that point and the mails are there and you're happy to send, once you take it offline, the send will begin. But I would always say when doing a mail merge, do it with Outlook in offline mode. Do it with an empty outbox, right? And again, make sure, save your document because this can be reused, right? So if I close that now, I've got a perfectly usable combination here. Just to show you one little thing, right? Just to gotcha. Open this again. Yes, it's happy enough with that. It's able to bring it up, right? Be very careful about moving folders or anything like that, right? So if I go mail merges, I change the name of this, right? Mail merges. And if I go to open this again, I get my warning, but watch. It cannot find the data source. So bear in mind, in your document, right, so that lends loads of problems. In your document, the actual location of the data source is hardwired into that document. So don't go renaming folders, moving them. If you have to, ideally redo the mail merge. There's ways around it. You're better off not to do it. Redo the mail merge if you absolutely have to move folder. The thing is really make sure when you're creating the folder structure at the very start that it is as exactly as you want it to be. So okay, so just to finalize there, start the mail merge. Insert mail merge fields, merge, and that's it. And I would even add one in there. Are the expected mails in your Outlook mailbox, right? If they're in your Outlook mailbox and it's still not working, we now know the problem is with Outlook, not with your Word and Excel. Okay, hopefully this helps. Thanks very much.